Welcome to the Live Life Show. The Live Life Show is all about sharing the heart keys to a fearless life of remarkable joy. And I have some guests today. So here I have Genevieve the giraffe, is such a cutie, huh? And I also have Cassandra the cheetah. We're matching. We're a matching little outfit here. So I have my friends to support me during this live stream episode. Why am I doing this particular show? What is so special about season 6? What is so special about season 6? It's an overview of my 16-month backpacking solo through 10 countries. Now, I have live streamed from every single country when I was there, and to share that experience with you, you can check that out by going to my YouTube channel. YouTube channel, and that channel is Victoria Rose Solo Travel. Okay, now what I want to do is to share this week's episode with you. We're at the new time of 3 p.m. I hope this new time works really well for you, and welcome to all the replay viewers. Yes, I know we can't travel right now, but we will. This too will pass, and everything's crossed. Yes, this episode today is all about ancient ruins and Antalya. So let's go there. I'll just play the video for you, just like I always do. I have some amazing photos just for you today. I have long been a fan of ancient cultures, and if that's you too, then Turkey is the absolute place to go. I travelled from Kaş all the way up to Antalya via a little minibus, which went all the way around this incredible route. And one of the things that I noticed again are the amazing amount of white slugs that occupy so much land in Turkey. And these white slugs are, of course, greenhouses. There are acres and acres of greenhouses, and I saw a lot of them when I was travelling in the minibus along this route. But before we get to Antalya, I want to share 2 of the ancient ruins that I visited when I was down in this area. And the very first one is Xanthos, and the second one is Demre. These are both ancient Lycian cultures. Let's have a look at Xanthos first. Incredibly beautiful day when I visited there. We had an interested dog, and walking through these ancient ruins. And when there are not so many others there, we're looking now at around about the just after Christmas. And so, yes, it's winter there and it was cold. But the joy was, it was sunny and there were very, very few people there. Xanthos was a city in ancient Lycia, and it's just an incredible place. Walking around, looking at some of the rather unbelievable, indeed astonishing things that I saw. You just had to keep saying to yourself, how did they do that? And down at the bottom now, about to go in to have a look at how thick the walls were and climb at the top and see some of the things I'm about to show you. I just couldn't help but think to myself, how did they do that? But first, a bit of history. In 545 BC, the Lycians of Xanthos put up heroic resistance to the Persian armies. Finding themselves overwhelmed, they killed their wives and children, burnt their homes to the ground, and committed suicide. A tough lot. Only 80 families survived the slaughter. This information has been gleaned from historic sources. So, looking through the archway, I spied this incredible monument. There were a couple, but I'll share just one with you. It's the one to the right, and it's called the Harpy Monument. This sarcophagus consists of one huge piece of hewn rock. It's 8.87 meters high. How did they do that? One huge piece of hewn rock. Now we're looking at an era. I think this was the Iron Age. Even so, how did they do some of the things I'm about to show you? Now, having a look at this incredible monument, to the north and the west, at the top there are creatures called sirens, half female, half bird, carrying the souls of the dead, symbolized as babies, to heaven. Very beautiful to see this. Another incredible monument on this same site, the Inscribed Pillar, dated 425 to 500 BC. This one piece of stone block, one piece, originally stood 11 meters tall and erected in the memory of the wars fought by a prince of Lycia named Kyrie. If you've watched any of my previous episodes from season 6, you'll know that I struggle with some of the pronunciation. But what fascinated about me, about this, the inscribed pillar, was the inscriptions on the sides, and they are the longest known inscriptions in Lycian tongue. There was an atmosphere in this place that totally wrapped itself around me, and I walked around with my mouth open. I can tell you right now, it was not a good look. Talking about looks, have a look at this. Now, I know it doesn't look much, but I was there. This is totally cut out of solid rock. Look how smooth those sides are. There are no joints. So this is not like they've erected it. It's totally cut out of solid rock. How did they do that? And then there are other signs. Now remember, this is 545-ish BC. Look at the plumbing there. French archaeologists have been excavating Xanthos since 1950, so that's 7 decades ago. And really, they've only uncovered some of the secrets that are yet to be found in this incredible ancient site. Now, the next site that I want to share with you, ancient ruins, is again another Lycian site called Demre. Now, Demre is the Lycian town of Myra, which is the home of St. Nicholas of Myra. So I went in to this ancient site and blown away by the absolute beauty. By the way, if you decide that you would like to go to Turkey, and make sure to include Demre in your itinerary, then for the paltry fee of $3.07, you can get to see the beauty that I'm about to show you. One of the things that I was particularly intrigued by were these, well, they call them tombs, but how did they do this? How did they carve out these tombs way up in the hillside? And they're intricate. They're just so totally beautiful. Have a look at this one. See how high up the tombs were worked. into the hillside. I just am blown away by the immense skill. Like, sadly, this is not a good photo, and I would have loved to have shown you more photos of Demre, but the gremlins or the ghosts of Demre must have been working that day, because it's the only site of all the photos I took. They're the only photos or images that were really ruined. But I managed to salvage this one, and you can see, look at the work, the stonework there. How did they do that? This is the Iron Age that we're talking about, the end of the Bronze Age going into the Iron Age. It's mind-boggling. So walking into all of the beautiful areas around there, you can just see and more of those tombs that have been cut out of the solid rock in the cliff. It's just amazing. And I loved this. Look at the interesting carving into the stone. It was beautiful. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there, and I recommend that if you can fit it in to when you go to Turkey too, that you check out Xanthos and you check out Demre as well. So we left here and finally reached Antalya. Wow. I have to say, I was enchanted by Antalya. Look how beautiful this is. You can see the snow in the mountains way, way in the distance. And even with that, there were still people swimming. How come I end up in Antalya? Well, I was very, very fortunate to, in one of those Facebook groups that I've told you about, that I recommend if you're going to stay in a place for any longer than a couple of days, then join a Facebook group from that area. So I did that in Croatia, and I met up with this incredible Australian couple who have been traveling for a decade, and here they are. This photo was taken on the 19th of January 2019. You can see it's cold. And we have Bob and Vera. They're bird watchers. They collect stamps, dabble in the share market. They're an amazingly fit, curious, alert couple. And they were a lot of fun to be with as well. They very kindly invited me to stay in their apartment, and their apartment was just above where we had dinner on this night. Here is the view from their apartment, looking out over the old town of Antalya and the harbour area there. See how peaceful it is? Now, the harbour area here is quite fascinating, because most of those ships that you can see are pirate ships. It's sort of one of the things of that area because of the pirates in the history. So nearly all of the ships there are pirate ships, and it's where tourists go to sit there, hear the tales of those rascally pirates of old. It's quite fascinating. I walked around the harbour and up the opposite side of the harbour to the gardens, and there's a castle up there as well. And I saw something quite fascinating, and here it is. It's called the Terebinth Tree, and its nickname is the Tree of Lovers. Look at those roots. This is an ancient tree. It's a member of the pistachio family. Always have trouble with that word. Now, here's part of the legend around the Terebinth tree, also known as the turpentine tree. A lover who did not get a positive response from his or her loved one would threaten to commit suicide by jumping into the sea in the area of that tree. This is, as you can see from the image, right on the ocean's edge. It was really beautiful. It was a very cold, bracing day. And back again to the amazing view of the ocean, of the buildings clustered on the cliff edge and down along the beach, and then to see the snow and those beautiful blue skies. I really liked Antalya. Have you picked that up yet? I walked along to that beach that you saw in that photo, and at the very top, perched all along that cliff edge, are these amazing cafes and restaurants. It was really beautiful, and I learned to every now and again to have this Efes. Now, I'd given up on the bubbles. Getting a decent bottle of sparkling wine that doesn't cost an arm and a leg in Turkey and indeed many other countries was tough. But I still like my bubbles. So it was a hot day. By the time I walked here, it had become beautifully warm. Now, this Efes bottle in this stunning location cost me $4.09. So I sat there, enjoyed the sun, and enjoyed this rather spectacular view. It's the only place in all my travels, 11 countries now, where I've been able to sit, have a delicious, cool, refreshing drink, and look out over this view. I was so taken by the beach, I thought I am going to walk down there. So I did. And here we are now down at that beach, and see all the pebbles? That water was so crystal clear and so cold, but people were still swimming in that water. I was not one of them, I have to tell you. I decided now to climb back up the top because it was almost time to have lunch. I turned back and took another picture. How glorious is that? It really is something very, very special. And can you see the guy standing at the top? He's actually fishing. I know it's hard to believe, but he is fishing from the very top there. I don't know if he actually caught anything. I wasn't about to clamber out and ask him. I continued my walk to go back to where I was staying with my Aussie friends. And look at this. How wonderful to sit there and have lunch. And you know, I thought it would be wonderful. So I did. Incredible. This was rather delicious. Now, I know you're going to ask me, what is it? The chunky chips are pretty easy to see. Honestly, forget what else I ordered on that day. I had the sparkling water, and the total cost to do this in that location was $7 Australian and 16 cents. I was pretty happy. And look, I had to look back and take another photo. I hope I haven't exhausted you, of this beautiful location. I mean, wow. There are other things in Antalya other than the old town, which I walked around a few times, and looking at the water and the magnificent mountains. For instance, when you walk up into the town, here we have a rather special gate. You probably know what it is, right? This is Hadrian's gate. The history is overwhelming. I loved it. But the time came when I realized I had to go. So this is my last night in Antalya, looking out from where I was staying with the Australian couple, and it was a different view this time. Can you see? Whew, those waves. Look at the car. I was amazed at the car that was there, and even some people were walking along there. I thought, that's a gutsy effort. I wouldn't be doing that. But yes, I had to leave, and I caught the night bus. Goodbye, Antalya. What an incredible journey. Night buses are not my favourite things to do, but when you're travelling on a budget and when you need to fulfil your mission of proving it is possible to travel and live overseas on an Australian age pension, then you don't fly and you don't hire a car. You catch the bus. And so many times my face was the only face that wasn't a Turkish face. As a matter of fact, I think every single time. And no one else spoke English. So, and why would they? They're Turkish people and they're in Turkey. Why would they speak English? I travelled all the way overnight from Antalya right up to Izmir. And it took a darn sight longer than 5 hours and 44 minutes on the bus. My next episode is all about Izmir, the exciting times that I had there, and my last 2 nights in Istanbul before I left Turkey. I hope you join me for episode 8 next Thursday. Thanks for joining me. Did you enjoy that? Was that fun? What a beautiful place Turkey is. And look, this is Cassandra the cheetah, remember, and this is Genevieve the giraffe. Well, they told me that they really enjoyed watching all of the amazing things and places you can go to and see and experience in Turkey. Now, when I was in Turkey, I bought this amazing ring, and the stone is called Sultanite. And this, I really thought, oh, thank you for the thumbs up. I really thought that Sultanite, that it was engineered somehow, but I've only found out recently that Sultanite is not engineered and that it's a real stone and it's there in Turkey. And so what is the difference? So here's a ring that I got in Bali a long time ago. So what happens with Sultanite, all depending on the light you're in. So if the light's a certain hue, it will be red. It can then turn to green, it can go to brown, and it can go to, well, there was another colour which I can't think, it was pink. And what's that? Oh, thank you, Louise, lovely. And so Turkey was an incredible experience. I've got more fun to show you, and I will absolutely be showing you that last piece of Turkey next week, and that's Izmir and Istanbul. And boy, do I have some exciting things to show you from those places. As I always do, I'm finishing my live stream with this. You guys know this, right? Let me just get it happening. It's not going to happen. What is going on? Okay, so let me just do this. I am not going to give up. There should be a way to do. There is no way to do this. Well, it appears. Oh, here we go. Here we go. See, you just don't give up, and that's the heart key for today. There we go. Do you see that heart? See that heart? Do you see the heart? As I always do, I heart you all. If there's anything totally obvious in this day that we're living right here, right now, with all the division over this, over that, and all of the anger and the pain that's happening with people, we need to operate more from the heart. I have a heart key for you today because every single episode offers you a heart key, because how else can you live a fearless life of remarkable joy? Have you tried saying that? Just say it. A fearless life of remarkable joy. Feel the vibration in those words? Well, it's absolutely possible. And one of the ways you can do it is to do something that lights you up, okay? What lights you up? Now, many of you know that I've been a leadership trainer for a long, long time. And the tragedy of what I've experienced is that few people know what really lights them up. Well, if you don't find that, how can you live a fearless life of remarkable joy? There will be something, and it will be more than one thing. What I love doing is sharing my love of different cultures, of different countries, and the lessons that I have learnt along the way. In August, I turned 70. And I have learnt a thing or two. And I'm very happy. One of the things that lights me up is sharing my interesting point of view about life. So thank you for joining me today. I'm thrilled to be able to show you my love of the countries. Do you know, season 6, we're up to episode 7, and there are 7 more countries to go. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize that it would take this long. But stick with me, or you can go to my YouTube channel, I think I said it right that time, search for Victoria Rose Solo Travel, and you can see all of the live streams that I did when I was actually in the country. Mwah! Thank you for joining me today. Remember the heart. We all need to operate more from the heart. Yes?